I'm really changing. Something started, and it's so yeah. I'm really changing. Yeah. What's up, Santi? Alive and well. Thank you for asking. Where do I start? Well, I'll start with the fact that I tried to re-establish connection with my parents. I'll try to explain it in both languages, by the way. Traté de reestabilizar conexión con mis papás, pero no lo quieren ellos. Ok, está bien. Aunque le dicen que no, even though they'll tell you no, that's not true, yo sé que sí es la verdad. I know it's the truth. And that's all that matters. I know that everything I speak is the truth, is truthful. Entonces, todo lo que yo digo es verdad y con la verdad. Eso yo tengo confianza en mi persona. Eso yo puedo decir que hago con claridad. I will say my Spanish out here has gotten way better. Mi español ha dicho mejor, bueno, yo creo. Pero yo traté de reestabilizar conexión con mis papás. I tried to reestablish connection with my parents. And they simplemente me dijeron, chinga tu madre. Simplemente. I'm simplifying it. I'm simplifying what my parents told me after I tried to establish connection. Chinga tu madre, go fuck yourself. I am simplifying it, by the way. Did they say that exactly? No. They might as well have. Instead of beating around the bush. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, I've been out here over a year. What have I learned? Well, I currently work at an elementary school. I love it. The kids love me. And honestly, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Why do they love me so much? Oh my god, I never thought you'd be working at a school. Neither did I. However, what I did know is that I always wanted to work with kids. Always. I knew that in my heart. I just didn't know what. I now know I want to be a school counselor. Quiero ser un counselor para una escuela. Ahorita yo trabajo en la escuela en un elementario. Pero yo quiero yo quiero hacer más que lo que estoy haciendo ahorita porque ahorita no me pagan mucho. Right now they don't pay me much. Hopefully with time. Obviously, I'll have to go to school. I'll be going to school in January. I'll be resuming my studies. My studies that I started back in Florida. I bet you my parents didn't even know that. Or they thought I was like bullshit. Surprise, surprise, I transferred my transcripts on over to Los Medanos. Out here, it truly feels like the people are important. Over in Florida, oh no, they are a red state. Florida no le importa a la gente en Florida. Los políticos y que les y que el otro. ¿Por qué? Porque es un estado rojo. It's a red state. What does that mean? It's owned by the Republicans. It's owned by the very party that Donald Trump represents. I'm not gonna get into all that. Why? Because I hate politics. I fucking despise them. So I'd rather not even pay attention to it. The only person I can pay attention to is myself. The snapping, oh, that's me. Always been me. Always been how I keep myself and my emotions in check. I will say my parents lack emotional intelligence, and my sister, God bless her, she is too young to understand all of this. Actually, no, she's able to. She's able to learn this. They're never going to give me the time of day to see them in person. My mom doesn't want to see me. My dad doesn't want to see me. My mom and my dad both said that my sister doesn't want to see me. I know that's not true. I know it might just be overwhelming for her trying to reconnect with me. It's hard. She probably doesn't know how to reestablish connection. Why? Because nobody was ever taught this shit. I always wanted to learn. I always wanted to learn about emotion, about why somebody slams a cabinet, about por qué tiran la puerta cuando están enojados. Y ahora sí entiendo. Ahora tengo una inteligencia que acabo de aprender tan grave y siento, bueno, siento extático, naturalmente, sin nada. Ah, con la mota. No. Aunque la mota o no, it's not because of the weed. The weed didn't make me like this. I've always been like this. I needed to understand how I was like this. Nothing of nothing made me the way I am now. This is how I've always been. I needed to figure out how to keep myself in check because I am the de-escalator in every situation. I am the person that changes the vibe up in there. I have main character energy. Forgive me, for I am a Leo. What are Leos? Some say attention seekers. Some say prideful. Some say flamboyant, boisterous. I don't give a fuck. I brought it up because that might make some of you understand why I am the way I am. Some of y'all don't even know my birthday. That's fine. Or astrology or whatever. I've always been, let me put it in simpler terms. I've always been a theater kid. Forgive me if you think that this is an act, but I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you think that this is an act. Oh, he's just acting. He's just this. He's just that. He's just the other. That is why I am recording this. So I can tell y'all about what I learned. Because I know I got people that watch me that miss me. So I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for the ones that miss me. If you don't miss me, I don't give a fuck. You're not the one I am attaining this video towards. My English vocabulary. My English vocabulary is profound. It is a high caliber. Is English my first language? I would say I learned both at the same time. I learned both English and Spanish at the same time. I'm bilingual, in case some of you didn't know. Or in case you thought that I was forgetting my Spanish. Chinga tu madre. Aquí está bonito. Y me encanta que yo sé los dos lenguajes. Yo sé la idioma de mi gente. Y a mí le doy gracias a Dios y le doy gracias a mis abuelos. The English language I figured out on my own. How? Music. Duh. I got an iPod Nano when I was like in 5th grade. I downloaded so many songs off of LimeWire. It was hilarious. It was awesome. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Eminem songs. You got fucking. I was thinking about me, thinking about her, thinking about us, what we gonna be. Open my eyes. And it's only just a dream. I forgot the name of that song. But only just a dream, just a dream. I think it was just a dream. I forgot by who though. I've always been this. What? I don't know. Never been to a psychiatrist. I've been Baker acted. And the psychiatrist inside that mental facility that I was in high school didn't diagnose me with anything. She didn't tell me anything about what I could have. Maybe ADD, lack of retaining attention. However, you can make yourself refocus and not get so scatterbrained. How? Well, for me, it's snapping. It's fidgets. My ring is a fidget. And this is my fidget. It's a satisfying click. It really is. And it calms me. Sorry if it's loud, but that's why I left. Why did I leave? Because in the corner of the house that I had, I felt like a burden. In the little corner of a house that my parents shoved me in, that they couldn't even respect. I felt like a burden. A burden on who? Everyone. Even when they weren't in the house, I felt it. I felt what? I felt the tension. Have y'all ever heard the phrase, kids feel tension in the air? That doesn't stop at an adult or as a kid. That doesn't stop. You can train yourself. You can train yourself. To feel others, feel what others feel. My generation, not my generation, previous generations before me, they were never taught this. What? Emotional regulation. Emotional regulation, regulating your emotions. Why do couples scream at each other? Why does said partner or said person throw something across the room out of frustration, out of impulse? And is there a way to stop that? Or are we doomed to be like what? Who was the strong male role model or female role model in your household? And you're following in their footsteps? You're following in their footsteps, or are you trying to evolve? Because if you're trying to evolve, awesome. But if you're repeating old habits and you think that you're stuck repeating old habits, so that's why you hate yourself, you are sadly mistaken. You simply lack the knowledge. You simply lack the knowledge. That's okay. I have told my parents time and time again. I have tried to reassure them time and time again, over text message, by the way. It's okay. If you want to play, yeah, I love dogs. Yeah, I'm doing this outside because I'm comfortable in my environment. I didn't feel like doing it in my room. Too depressing. At least. What's up, Papa? Ah. Oh, you're a big boy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Whoa. Your mouth is wet. Careful, Papa. You got tension. You got tension? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. You got tension. You got tension right here, Papa. You got tension right here. Sit. Stay. Stay. Chill. Chill. Just finished going to the bathroom, bruh. Oh my goodness. And you rubbed your booty on me. Calmadito. Hey, senor. You're okay, Papa. Have a seat. Have a seat. Sit. 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 Good boy. Good boy. Stay. Sit. Stay. Sit. Stay. Sit. Stay. Thank you, sir. Good boy. Oh, in the head? Yeah, in the head. Yeah, in the head. I can feel this. I can feel tension in the body. Have a good day. Thank you, sir. You too. If I scare my mama, if I scare my mother, oh well. I came out of her, right? So why the fuck she gotta, what the fuck she scared me for? This is me. This is Santi. And if you don't want to admit the fact that you miss Santi, that's on you. That is on you. That's a burden that I will no longer be carrying. Because instinctively I was. Mentally, I was back in Florida. Why? Because I felt it. I felt that I was still in my hostile environment. Let me remind you, I work at a school where we are taught how to deal with behaviors. My parents come from a generation where autistic kids were perceived as stupid. Oh, those dumb little rats. Oh, esos pendejos, niños pendejos, hablándote con esos niños pendejos. Hablas como esos, actúas como esos niños pendejos. You understand that's a sin, right? Making fun of God's creation in any form is a sin. Shoot me. Because I will die by it. I will die by that fact. It pisses me off. What? That. The fact that there's an entire generation that thinks autistic kids are stupid. Am I one? Again, I don't know. Never been to a psychiatrist. Do I need medication? I would prefer not to be on any. I prefer to just relax and manage my emotions the way I know how instead of suppressing them with medication. Like it or not, that's what it does. Suppress Suppress, suppress. All medication does is suppress. Imagine people that have been on medication since birth. Since like the age of 3 or 5. Why isn't my child doing this? I don't know. Maybe because you gave them an iPad at 5 years old, and now autism is being developed in the brain because of it. You are worsening your kid's possible ADD by giving them a screen and applications to be able to switch to at their own convenience. At school, they can't pay attention because at home they have the electronic, they have the screen. Now, I'm not saying screens are bad. Moderation. I used to spend a lot of time on my PC, probably an unhealthy amount, to the point where I wasn't taking care of myself. I knew that mentally. I didn't have the motivation to change it, to change that bad habit. What's another bad habit? Drinking, smoking, smoking of any kind. What's another bad habit? Throwing a tantrum when you get mad. My mother destroyed my things before I left. That was one of the reasons why I left. Barged into the tiny corner that I had, the little bit of comfort that I had left. My mother disrespected by ripping out my fucking cables from my computer. That is a tantrum. That is a childish behavior. Is my mother a child? Well, she might as well be. Because she acts like one with me. I don't know why. I really don't. Actually, I do. Both of my parents lack communication skills. I don't. I've always been able to say what is on my mind clearly and concisely. I just needed time to understand myself, understand why I am the way I am, how I get the way that I get. I think it's time for a change of scenery. Let me swap on over to that bench over there. A change of scenery. What is a change of scenery? Santi, what do you mean, change of scenery? I'm accommodating for my needs. What are my needs? At the very moment, I wanted to get a different shot for the camera. I thought about that myself. I could have stayed over there. I didn't want to. Why? Maybe I want you guys to see me in a different light. Let's call this part my set. Again, I was always a theater kid. I don't know why my parents thought that was weird. The fact that I wanted to act, I make music, I make YouTube videos. Obviously, I want to do something with a camera. Music videos, etc., etc. Like, hello, if this is what your kid wants to do, why are you suppressing that? Why would you rather have them go to the military where you're never going to be able to see them ever again? Why would you rather let them get a boring ass job, like go to school to be a fucking lawyer or a doctor, whatever the hell? I want to help people. Yes, I do. So that's why I want to go to school, to be a school counselor. And the opportunities out here educationally are amazing. Much more than what I was getting in Florida. What I was getting in Florida for a full semester is half of what I am getting out here for one semester. And we're talking like 10 G's. Find it from a grant that I didn't even qualify for in Florida. That same Pell Grant. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, well then I think you should spend more time with your kid. That Pell Grant, I didn't qualify for in Florida. I qualified for here in California. Is Florida shitty? Politically? Yeah. Politically, it's very shitty. Hmm. I don't care about the politics out here. What I care about is my education. What I care about is evolving. What is my education? What would I need? I would need a master's in something to be a school counselor. I just need to go to a master's program. What do I want my master's to be in? Psychology. And how do I know that? Working at an elementary school, we are trained how to deal with kids with different emotions. Why does a kid throw something across the room? Why does a kid hit another kid, spit on another kid? Why does a kid get mad when something gets taken away from them? They're allowed to feel that way as a child. Our jobs are to show them how to properly regulate that emotion, that anger, that frustration. They might not be able to communicate, but they can listen and they can hear and they can interpret. Our job is to make them feel safe. Our job is to establish connection, assure them they're okay, analyze each and every situation. Our jobs are to do that for them, help them, because they're kids, they don't know. Some adults don't even know what I know, don't even know how to keep themselves in check. Every argument that my parents had, they always brought and escalated immediately. How? By raising their voice. You want to go loud? I guarantee you I can go louder. I choose not to. I choose not to go louder. I choose not to escalate. But trust me, you come at me with any form of hostility and I will match it. If you continue, I will surpass that. In other words, keep pushing me. Control, 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 and this that I'm doing with my hand, I've been at it for like 3 days now. It's tension, tension in the hand, up here, right here specifically. Press down, ow. Still think I'm an actor. I don't give a fuck. I'm pressing down here because it's a pain that I've been at for 3 days. What is it? It's tension. Why? Well, your hand gets tense the longer you, let's say for me, hold a mouse, right? Hold a computer mouse, be at my computer at my desk. This is a repercussion of being on the computer for too long. Which is fine. I now know that. But you know how it started? It started with my thumb. I was at my thumb, and it still hurts. It's still pretty tender, but I've been trying to get this knuckle. There's a knuckle right here with your thumb that you can crack. I've been trying to get this to crack for the amount of time that I've been at my hand, basically. But before I tried to get it to crack, I needed to relieve the tension around it, so it was easier to go at it. It was easier to attack it. Ooh, even right now, I pressed down on that, I felt it pop in my back. I don't care if you didn't hear it. I heard it, I felt it. I am allowed to feel what I feel. That's besides the point. So, releasing all this in my hand is now popping stuff in my back simultaneously, which is naturally releasing tension in my back. It's all connected. I've known from the jump that it's all been connected. I needed to figure out how to reconnect my mind and my body because I was numb. As I stated before, I was here, but mentally I was still back in Florida. So I needed to accept that I was safe here. I was in a safe space. Why? Because every single time that I've been in a safe space, it got vandalized or disrespected by my own parents. So therefore, I hear yelling going on. That's not my business. But that's, yeah. Anyways, tension. Tension everywhere in the body. I needed to, mentally, I was back in Florida. There you go. Mentally, I was still in Florida. I needed to accept that here I was safe. I was in a safe space because every single place I thought was safe kept getting vandalized and disrespected by my own parents. Barging into my room, calling it a mess, insulting it, insulting my space. How about insulting it? How about you help me out, maybe? Santi, let's pin it together. You're still young, right? Or, oh, are you still in pain? Are you in so much pain? Oh my God, I'm so tired. I come up from work, this, that, and the other. That all sounds like bullshit to me. That all sounds like bullshit to me. It sounds like you just ain't stretching the morning. Same goes to you, Father. If they see this or not, I don't give a fuck. This is for me. This video is for me and whoever misses me. Stretching, breathing exercises. That helps with regulating your emotions. You don't do that, well, your body's gonna be fucked. If you don't practice the simple exercises, foundations as to why we are human, like breathing, like stretching, because your body's not supposed to just move in one direction. Your body's not supposed to hurt naturally. Oh no, I'm getting old. No, you're not. You just don't know how to accommodate for your own needs. That's not your fault. That wasn't my fault. I learned working at a school. Let me give you an example. Seeing tension, being able to see it on a person, I've always been able to do that. There's this little boy, his name's Nico, that I work with. Nico is a very big kid. When he gets mad, when he gets frustrated, he hits himself. He hits himself. He hits himself when he gets mad or frustrated. Why? Frustration builds tension in the body. That tension creates an impulse. An impulse you can't control if you haven't accommodated for your stress, for your tension, if you haven't accommodated properly. Because he's a big kid, he's well fed, but his family doesn't like keep him active. I feel like he just lays, or they overfeed him, maybe. That's besides the point. He's not very physically active. Because he's not physically active, it's a lot easier for tension to build up in the body. So tension caused by frustration equals I gotta get it out somehow. But where's the tension building? In the back. Tension is building in the back. Kid is hitting himself. I see the tension in the back that is causing him to do this. So what do? I iron it out. I iron out his tension. The arm, the shoulder, the impulse relaxes. The muscle that is being twitched in that moment relaxes. And he now no longer hits himself. He still does when he gets frustrated, obviously, but my job is to stop it as soon as possible. Keep the kid from harming themselves. Keep the child from harming others. I don't just do that at work. I also do that. Whatever curriculum the teacher, you know what I mean? The teacher pushes onto the kids, whatever curriculum they push onto the kids. I I pair up with a kid and you know, I help them gain the material. I was very possessive with my stuff. There's a little boy, his name's Aiden. Aiden, I had during summer school and preschool. So he was preschool. His his grade was preschool. I was helping out during summer school in his class. And I paired up with him mostly, but his whole class was very rowdy. Holy crap, we had kids literally jumping off the walls. It was awesome. It was awesome because I enjoy it. I enjoyed because I got to be active to keep up with them, right? Um, Aiden and I feel like have the same hair. His is really long. Him and his brother Alonzo. Alonzo is his older brother. Them both. They have like the same hair as me when I was younger. Long hair. My long hair, letting it grow out. I'm letting my hair grow out. I'm letting my hair down, as the expression says. Why am I letting my hair down? Because I now feel comfortable in my person. So I don't give a fuck if you don't like it, if you don't like my long hair. Could I use a haircut? That's your opinion. So I don't give a fuck about your opinion. Anyways, Aiden. Whenever he gets something taken away, oh, he gets rowdy. Oh, he's ready to fight. And mind you, he's in preschool. He's 4. He's literally 4 years old. He gets something taken away, he immediately goes to that guy and he's like, ah! Oh, he's awesome. Um, I could go on and on. Ian. Ian shares an emotional connection to music. Ian is nonverbal. Why is Ian nonverbal? Is he stupid? No. Why is Ian nonverbal? Because of his trauma, of what he endured as a child. Kept him malnourished. The kid looks like he was kept in a cage. He's such a beautiful boy. He was very verbal. And there's a video of him singing in like preschool. But because of what happened to him, he turned nonverbal. He developed that because of his trauma. The body remembers everything. The body remembers trauma. Everybody has their own form of trauma. It's a matter of accepting your own trauma. Ian don't know how to because he's a kid. He's a kid. I was constantly reminded at my job, I am constantly reminded still, sometimes, that I'm just a kid. I'm still young. I'm still so young, etc., 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 etc. Why did I need to be reminded of that? I don't know. Maybe because my parents were acting like I should be retiring them already. If you're unhappy with the way your life is, that's on you. That ain't got shit to do with me. Your retirement, all that bullshit, that ain't got shit to do with me. Do I want to take care of them now so that way they don't die at the ripe age of 65 to 70 from stress, from their heart failing? Cool. I'm not going to give my help to those who don't need it, who don't want it, I should say. Sorry. I'm not going to give my help to those who don't want it. You don't want it. You don't want me around. Cool. I'll keep my happy ass right over here, where I have a loving grandma and I got my uncle. My uncle, my dad's little brother. Oh, how they miss each other, but they will never admit it. Why? Is that how you think a man should be acting nowadays? Guess what? Let me be clear. Grow up. It's good. It should verbalize. Oh my god, there's a cobweb. Holy shit, there's a whole. Oh, I didn't even notice. Wow, interesting. Whoopsies. Fucking cobweb. Anyways. Yeah, let me be clear. It's 2025, gentlemen. No, actually, this goes for everybody. It's 2025, ladies and gentlemen. You are allowed to verbalize how you feel to said other person. And if you don't know how to, how about you take a breath and think about how you want to say or what you want to say before you say it. If you don't want to take my advice, why? Because I'm younger than you? Okay. Like I said, I'm making this video for me. For me and for those who miss me. Still making my vlogs and all that. It's awesome. From now on, my parents are going to have to see me through a phone screen. And that is something they're going to have to live with internally. That ain't got shit to do with me. Why? Because I'm out here and I am living my best life. Call it cringe. Call it what you want. It's true. It's true. And I don't want to be surrounded by misery. I love it out here. I do. You see, I'm really good at conversation, but not once did my parents ever stop and think, what does Santi feel about this? How does he feel about this? When my grandfather was on his deathbed, they didn't once stop and ask my grandfather, Santi, ¿Cómo se te aparece esto? He wanted to be in bed. He wanted to be in bed and comfortable, relaxed. But y'all motherfuckers stressed him out. Y'all stressed him out. Made his condition worse. And y'all didn't even know why. Because y'all motherfuckers lacked self-awareness. I'll tell you what, that's not your fault. You simply did what you thought was best. Why the fuck didn't you just ask him? Why does it gotta be what y'all think is best? Why not respect his wishes? Should I be talking to a therapist about all this? I tried 3 of them. And then I realized, before you seek help, you have to help yourself. This is me helping myself. I don't give a fuck. Let the world know what my side, since I know over there, it's all just been them. Hablar y hablar y hablar. Ay, Santi esto. Ay, Santi el otro. Ay, Santi. Ay, esto. Ay, el otro. Let's keep it real. The reason why y'all don't fucking like me is because I smoke weed. Get over it. Get over yourselves. If you can't get over yourselves, that is an issue within yourselves. And I cannot be bothered to help that. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. out here in peace. Since, you know, apparently I was disturbing my parents' peace constantly in the 2.5 months that I was back with my parents. 2.5 months, that's all it took for my father to be like, I mean, that's basically what he did. It ain't the first time I got kicked out. Oh, did nobody know? Nobody knew what? That my parents kicked me out. Let me guess. They told you guys a lie. Oh, he moved out. When are you going to start talking with the truth? That's all I have done. That is all I have done in this video log. That's all I've done. Talk with the truth. If the truth hurts, guess what? I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck. My father's heart failed. That's why he was in the hospital. Blue fucking who? How about you get up off your ass and at least go for a walk? While you go for a walk, how about you at the same time? You broke your ribs. When was the last time you stretched your abdomen out? Oh, but you don't want me involved with your medical shit. Why? Because you're afraid you're going to get insulted. You're going to take offense to what I got to say. Guess what? I'm your son and I'm trying to keep you here as long as possible. You can't accept that. That's on you. I'll go get my help where it's wanted, where it's welcomed, where I am welcome, where I feel safe. How did I have to convince myself that I wasn't in a hostile environment anymore? It's going to sound bizarre, but let me explain it. It's a form of psychotherapy that you have to conduct within yourself to be able to accept that you are safe. If you haven't left your hostile environment, then you can't accept it until you leave that hostile environment. I didn't do this when I first got kicked out because I didn't know. I didn't know about any of this. I know about it now because we're trained. It's a form of psychotherapy that I had to conduct within myself. I yelled at myself in my room. I was yelling at myself, coaching myself through my trauma. What trauma? My mom destroying my things. My dad reminding me, oh, you better get out of here. You better get out of here. You're not going to be here forever. You're not going to be here forever. Also, letting out that frustration that I had towards my parents, letting it out by yelling while also doing physical exercise. So, coaching myself, I feel tingling sensations all around my body as I am coaching myself through my own trauma. My parents are going to tell you I ain't got no trauma. Everybody has their own form of trauma. My parents have their own form of trauma. I'm going to go into detail about my parents' own form of trauma. Maybe now, maybe later. But I'm going to if I don't get a text back. Anyways, is that a threat to your parents? No, that's a promise. Anyways. Because I remember everything. I was forgetting everything. Why was I forgetting everything? Because there was so much tension in my body. On top of that, there was so much shit that happened to me that I didn't know how to properly feel through. Feel it through. Feel that emotion, that breath. Why is it that when people start drinking and start talking about their parents, they start to tear up like babies? because they don't talk about it often. They should. They should get a therapist for that. Am I generalizing people? Yeah. So if this hurts you, then I'm talking to you. Why is it that when you start to talk about something sensitive, mind you, while drinking, you wouldn't normally talk about it while you're sober, right? But your sober self wants you to talk about it. That's why you let it out while you're drunk. Because that alcohol numbs you, it calms your body down, but it ends up turning into a depressant. It goes from an antidepressant to a depressant. So you start bawling, you start tearing up. That feeling of you talking about that said person, that feeling, that emotion that you're feeling of sadness because you missed them, it's enhanced because of the alcohol, dumbass. It's enhanced because of the alcohol, right? The fuck are you telling me for? Shouldn't you go to a therapist? I'll tell you right now, I'm not your therapist. This is me referring to a random person. If it was my father or my mother, I would welcome it with open arms. Why? Because I know that they don't talk about their trauma often. So I know that talking about it, at least with me, is able to let some type of tension out. And I know I can coach it through it. I know that. Again, they don't want my help. They don't want to see me. They'd rather I rot in a hole and die. Cool. Feeling is mutual. Again, I will go to where I feel welcomed. And right now, I am establishing a connection with the very ground I stand on. And I love it. I love it. Others live in a state of dissociation or straight denial. What, you think you're hard, you think you're tougher than me just because you don't talk about it. That's toxic. Toxic what? Toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity can also be found in females. Even though you're a female, you can still share traits of toxic masculinity. Emotions are non-gender. No matter what gender you are allowed to feel how you feel. No, but when my parents were younger, and when I was younger, because, old habits, they would tell me, ¿por qué estás llorando? ¿Te pego para que sí llores? Deja de estar llorando. ¿Te pego para que sí llores? Or deja de estar llorando. Deja de estar llorando. Deja de estar llorando. Why you crying? I'm gonna smack you so I give you something to cry about. Is that how I should talk to a kid? Because I don't. But is that how I should? If your answer is yes, then you're fucked up. And you should have never had kids in the first place. It took me a while to reconnect with myself. Talk about this without breaking the fuck down. I'm able to talk about it now because I've accepted it. Excuse me if I come off cold, harsh, rash. Some might even say sadistic. But it's the truth. And I simply have way more control over my own self than I know a lot of people to be. Those other people are not my concern. My parents are my concern. My parents don't want to admit that they can probably learn something from their son. Okay. That is an insecurity they are going to have to live with. My father dies at the ripe age of 45. That's on him. I tried to tell him, at the very least, breathe and do stretches. I was able to hear how tense he was over the fucking phone. I can feel people through the phone call me crazy and call me a gun because I love it. It's true. You can feel one's energy over the phone. Some people are not aware of that. That's why shit gets escalated even over the phone. My mom just thinks I'm crazy. Okay. At the end of the day, it's a belief, it's a way of thinking. This is my way of thinking. My parents are uneducated in this way, period. They're uneducated in emotions, period. Like the psychiatrist told me, and every therapist I went to. It was kids having kids. Oh, Santi, you need to fix you. You need to fix yourself. You needed this. You needed that. On the contrary, mother, I think we could all use a bit of fixing. But for some reason, you keep brushing off the fact that y'all need family therapy. Oh, you want to text me now that I got here 1,000 miles away? Now you want to tell me, oh, I was looking for one. Are you stupid? You called my bluff. You both called my bluff that I wouldn't leave. Guess what? Now that I'm out here, now you want to cry like a bitch? My mother's not a bitch. But, whether you're a guy, whether you're a girl, whether you're whatever the fuck you identify as, you are a bitch. You can be a bitch. My mother can be a bitch to me, but one thing I know for a fact, I can stoop way lower. I don't want to, but I can. If I need to. That doesn't make me worse, that makes me better. It makes me better because people get exhausted talking to me whenever it comes to having a debate. Why? In my mind, we're just having a conversation. But why do my parents always think that it's an argument? They probably can't accept the fact that I may be smarter than them. Because in their mind, I'm the parent, you're the child, you listen to me. I'm listening. But when I have a response to what you're telling me, now it's an issue, you're stupid. You're stupid. You're not going to let your child speak. You're not going to hear your child out. You're not going to listen to them. You're stupid. I'll say it once, I'll say it twice. I will say it in your face. But this will suffice for now. My father just needs to go for a run. He has way too much tension. I don't remember the last time he went for a run, but he could use it. But it's hard if I get that on. So that's why I'm saying go for a walk and start breathing at the very least. Breathing exercises while you walk, because we need to build that cardio, sir. We need to build that cardio. We need to get your mind back in check with your body. And once we do that, then we can start accepting trauma. What trauma? I know the trauma. Do you know your trauma? Because I know very well. Because I was there. It's beautiful. Being able to speak, have the space to speak. Because I was never given that space when I was younger. I was always shut up, Santi. Go to your room. Guess what? You are just further proving my point that I am right. If you try to shut me down, if you try to attack my person, if you try to switch the topic in any manner, I win. I win. If you raise your voice at me, I win. If you come at me in an aggressive manner, I will let you know. Relax, calm down, shoulders, back, tension, cool, tension in your back, roll your shoulders. Because I can see that. I can see when tension builds up in a person. It's ugly. It's like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Just ugly. In your mind, you will always be ugly if you don't convince yourself otherwise. In your mind, you will always be ugly if you have not accepted the person that you are. It's that fact that it's okay the way that you are. How are my parents? In the 24 years that I've known them, now, very tense. Very, very tense. Is that their fault? Yeah, that's their fault. Why? Because they don't know how to regulate or manage their stress. My mother lost motivation for kickboxing. Why did she lose that motivation? That's not for me to know, right? I don't know. I can only theorize. But if I had to theorize, it's the fact that she is dissociated from her very self due to her trauma. And she doesn't even realize it. My father? Don't even get me started on him. It feels like we need some boxing gloves to figure out whatever the fuck we're on. It's always about money with him. The first time I called him to try and talk to him, he kept saying, quit with the act, Santi. Just tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. He's assuming that I'm calling him for money, like a dumbass. He's assuming that I'm calling him for money, like a dumbass. No. It's been a year since I called you. I want to talk to my father. Can I do that? Apparently not. Apparently not, because I don't even get a text back. So it is what it is. I've accepted that. I accepted the fact that I miss them. I'm able to admit verbally that I miss them. Can my parents? That's not my problem. All my problems are gone. That feeling of sadness that I had, ever growing hatred for anyone, for my parents, the everlasting hatred I had for my parents is gone. Because that hatred made me depressed. That hatred created an internal conflict within myself. Wait. But I love my parents. So why do I feel this way towards them? Because I had to accept what happened to me. I don't need nobody else to accept that. Why? Because it's my trauma. If my parents can't accept the mirror that I am putting in front of their faces, that's cool. I naturally make people self-reflect. Naturally, meaning I can't help it. Maybe that's why I piss off my parents. I see them as, or they see me as this form of stressor, trigger, and I know that. Whether they deny it or not, I know that. Because I know each and every time that you guys have come to me with a fucking conflict. Every time y'all came to me with a conflict. Gets ugly. Very ugly. And y'all are the ones that started. Whether you're in denial or not, you guys are the ones that started. Why? Because you're childish. Childish. That's what you guys are. Oh, if I'm childish, then how come I own a house and I have a job and I did and I done, yada yada yada. That don't mean shit. That don't mean shit. That's awesome. You can provide the bare minimum. Good job. You can provide the bare minimum. Good job. Honestly, I would have rather been homeless with parents that understood my emotion than with a roof over my head and food on my table with parents that were too busy working, stressed, overtly stressed, coming home from work, not even saying hi to their kid. Only time they do come into your room is to bitch. Or, on the contrary, my mom, after work, would come straight to my room. After work, you're coming straight to my room to look at how much of a mess it is? Are you stupid? You're still in your fucking uniform. Obviously. Obviously, after a long, hard day at work, you come into my room, what, you expect it to be clean? My bad, I didn't clean it. I had to clean it because of how often you destroyed my shit. Threw my shit on the ground. Disrespected my space. Disrespected me. Yeah, that whole bullshit about, oh, you have no respect for us and this, that, and the other. Well, it works both ways, mama. Yelling at me is a form of disrespect. Me being truthful, that's not disrespectful. That's me telling you the truth. That's me telling you how I feel. That is not disrespect. Me telling you how I feel is way different. If you can't handle the way that I communicate, I don't give a fuck. That's on you. Yeah, we get it, Santi. We're such piece of shit parents. Don't say it to me. I don't need you to say it to me because I know. I want you to look in the mirror and say it to yourselves. But you're never going to do that. Why? Because you're never going to listen to me. Talking to yourself. Talking to yourself. Actually quite healthy. I needed to do it. I used to do it. I would do it often. But I was stuck. Because there's so much that happened to me in the past, like, fucking 2, 3 years now, actually, that I needed to figure out. Well, I guess you could say from the moment I turned 18, let me guess, stereotypical household. Stereotypical what? Hispanic household, at the very least. Why? Because that's my demographic. But parenting knows no culture. Culture is culture. If my parents can't keep up with me no more, that's on them. They can't keep up with me no more. That's on them. Are they still able to? Yeah. Yeah, they're still able to. I know they are still able to. They have the potential to be able to. They haven't unlocked that potential yet. Can I turn on my light? It's getting dark. When I was going through my psychotherapy session, there were so many connections that I felt being made in my brain. There was a tingling sensation happening in my brain. And it was like, wow. Wow. Medication doesn't allow you to make those connections. You need to make those connections naturally within yourself. Do I want to be on medication? I don't want to be on medication. Oh, we smoke weed on occasion. Yeah, my father drinks. Which one's worse? I guess the tale of time will answer that. I don't like to drink. I don't like to drink because I don't like the feeling it gives you the next day. I realize from drinking that it causes tension. That's why you feel like shit the next day. Even though you want to lay in bed and you want to not do shit, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to stretch. You're gonna have to exercise, at the very least, to get that tension that was caused from the alcohol out of your system. So it's not the fact that you can't handle your liquor no more. You can. You just need to accommodate for it because you're getting old. Holy shit. My parents claim to have all this money, but like, y'all can't spend like $50 on a fucking therapist because you think that you don't need it. Guess what? That is a trait of the devil. It's called ignorance. It's called ignorance. You turn off that shit. It's called ignorance. Traits of the devil: pride, greed, ignorance. Those are the three that I know that are best known in my family. Those are the ones that I know that I can identify. My father continuously being like, "Oh, what is this, Santi? I know you called me for something." That is a form of greed. Also, continuously bringing up what I owe you in a very, very aggressive manner. That is also a form of ignorance. My bad, I haven't paid you back the 9 grand that I owe you, father. Is that why you don't want to see your son? Because of money. Let me figure my life out, yeah? I just now realized I want to be a school counselor. I want to go to school for psychology. I've always wanted to do that. It was a lot harder to do it in Florida. I don't know why the fuck y'all left this place. Wait, I can theorize. My dad's mom, not dad's mom, my mom's dad didn't like the fact that my father got my mother pregnant. So therefore, he hauled ass over to Florida. Why? To get away from my father. That's my theory. And I find it very funny. It's been a while since I was told the real reason. Or maybe everybody has it mixed up. Why? But maybe that's a form of trauma for them. That's why everybody remembers it differently. Because it was probably a form of trauma for everybody involved, including my grandma here, my dad's mom. It's been a while since my dad gave his mom a hug. Does he need one? Oh, desperately. Does he also need a beating from his mother? Yeah. Yeah, he does. But if my father wants to get ugly with me again, guarantee you I will give him that beating he's been missing. I pray that the next time I see my father, it doesn't get ugly. Because I don't want to have to do that. I'd rather him learn how to properly regulate his emotions. I'd rather teach him how. And I am also the one that always de-escalates any situation. So I will try my best to de-escalate that situation. I always hope that motherfucker don't put hands on me, that's for sure. Because he has before. My mother has before. Let me guess. Yeah, we disciplined you. That's not how you discipline a kid. Nope. You're stupid if you think that's how you discipline a kid. My mother never had a hand laid on her by her father, Santi. Maybe by her mom, Mari. I don't know. I don't know. She don't really talk about it. She don't talk about much. She's not an emotionally available person. And in order to have a kid, you need to be emotionally available. My mother never was. Why? She didn't even fucking know herself. My father's just being a bitch. Over emotional little prick. You think that throwing everything you've done for me in my face constantly, time and time again, you think that's gonna make me want to ask you for shit anymore? I'll go far away where I can prove to you I don't need a fucking dime from you. I am so happy with the way that I am right now. So happy. I don't give a fuck about who thinks otherwise. Because at the end of the day, the way I feel is how I feel. And I love how I feel. I love that I am able to feel. Others can't feel shit. They share no empathy, no sympathy, nothing. And it disgusts me. They thought that for the longest I didn't know any emotion, or I shared no emotion for them or some bullshit. I didn't care about them or whatever. That's actually very, very wrong. That is more than wrong. That is false. I can feel everything. I just needed to help myself first. I needed time away from my hostile environment to accept it. When I got here, I didn't know about any of this. I learned about this working at an elementary school where outbursts and tantrums that I still see in my own parents happen in the classroom. It's so funny. It's actually so funny. So funny, so funny, so funny. Am I comparing my parents to children? Yup. Because nobody knows how we fight. Nobody knows. For the longest I've been told it starts with me, it starts with you, it starts with you. Yeah, it does start with me. It starts with me to break what? Curses. Curses of ignorance, of greed, of pride. It's up to me to break that. Break that. Those repetitive, toxic cycles and habits. Greed and ignorance and pride is the reason why my father will not call their mother. It's also the same reason why my mother does not like my grandmother. Or actually, anybody on my granddad's side of the family, for that matter. My granddad's side of the family, Santi's side of the family, does not like her. Why? I see her as a sweet old lady that opened her doors to me. In my time of crisis, in my state of crisis. Kids have states of crisis. Panic attacks, anxiety attacks. I was desperate. And luckily, I had family. Luckily, I had family. I know others don't. Others aren't as. I had family. Others aren't so fortunate. I'm grateful that I have her still. I feel like my father should start being a little more grateful that she's still here. Because unfortunately, she's not getting any younger. Call me a dick, call me an asshole. It's the truth. You don't have that much time left with her. And you are going to kill yourself if something happens to her when you're not here. I know that. I don't think you understand that yet. Is it my job to make you understand? No. I can only tell you. It is your job to make yourself understand. Because nobody knows you better than you know yourself. Nobody. You two do not know me at all. You two do not know me at all. She knows me. Tita knows me. She knows the person that I am. She knows I'm Santi. And it's beautiful. That's just a recap on the year I've been out here. What I've learned about my person, about myself. All this I try to get my parents to explain, or I try to explain to my parents over text. But they don't want to hear it. All they see it as is an attack to them. Which is a very selfish way of thinking, by the way. It's not an attack. If you actually read through those messages, if you read them maybe a few times, because I know it's been a while since y'all been in school or been taught something, read those messages back a few times. You might be able to learn something or understand something, but I can't make you understand. You have to make yourself understand the fact that your son is trying to simply help you, trying to make sure that you're on this earth for a good while. How about we start with breathing exercises and stretches, huh? You don't want to do that? You don't want to take my advice? Cool. I'll give it to somebody else. I'll give my advice where it's welcome. If you don't want to hear it, because I'm right, cool. Fuck you. Oh. My mother and father's trauma. Should we go into that now? You see, I hate two-parters. Whenever you see something on TikTok, oh, follow for part 2. I hate that. Should I just give it to you guys now? I'm pretty sure everybody knows that my father's father passed away. You know what's crazy? I don't even know his name. I think his name was also Chava. Don Chava? Every time my dad referred to him, it was just him or él. I wanted you to meet him, your grandfather. You should have met him. He's so awesome, or this, that, and the other, or whatever. I'm sorry I never got to meet him. But I don't know why you hold that. It seems like when you look at me, you envy me because of that. Like, is that my fault? It may not be true, but now that we're, putting everything out on the table, I'm communicating to you that every time you saw me, every time you looked at me, I felt like you hated me for not being able to see him, to meet him. It took me a while to accept the fact that that's not my fault, by the way. Also, it's not your brother's fault. And it's not your fault. You know whose fault it is? It is his. Why? Because his pride made him go back to Mexico, knowing Nobody will be able to see him. Your mother wants to go back, by the way. She's been talking to me about it. But who am I to tell you your mother's business? You should be talking to her. Anyways. Uh, yeah, my father's father passed away. That is my father's form of trauma. That is one form of trauma. Another form of trauma he doesn't actually talk about quite often is how he got into this country. It was a little more vulgar than the way that my mother flew into this country. So there's a difference there, which is fine. My mother also lost her father. Now that's the person that I resonate with. Santi. Oh, by the way, what I said about Don Chava, I also told your brother that same exact thing. It is nobody's fault. It is his fault that he chose to go back to Mexico knowing nobody was able to ever see him again. I told your brother that exact same thing, by the way. So if you can't take it, boo hoo. I recommend doing breathing exercises like I stated before. Anyways, my mother, Santi, right? Santi, her dad. When he passed away, we never talked about him. Never. Now this one's gonna hurt. This one's gonna hurt a little bit. I needed her. I needed her to be emotionally available. She didn't want to talk about it. Why not? I need it. Your son needed you during his traumatic experience. And you went right back to work. Just like my father. That same Thursday, right back to work, right? No time to process, no time to grieve. Instead, you shove it down like a fucking soda can and you shake it like a soda can. So then what? Oh, but I'm the one that needs help. I'm the one that's the issue. I need to change. On the contrary, you hate the fact that I make the both of you self reflect. You hate the fact that I make you both remind you of something very dear to the both of you. You can't accept that. You can't admit that. Why is it so hard for you to admit the fact that I make you a better person instinctively? I needed her. I needed my mother. We never talk about it. I don't know why. I feel like we'd be able to, get some laughs out together. I still have nobody to talk about him with. All I can say is that I carry his name. I knew the type of person that he was, but I have nobody to talk about him with. And I still miss him. I still miss him. I have nobody to talk about him with. My grandma, sure. She only knows him off the few times that she's met him. But the way that she says my name, I find it really funny. I find it funny because I would imagine that's how she would address my granddad. I'm laughing right now, by the way, so this is good. This is good. And also, tears are good. Why? Because tears are a form of release. I was taught since a kid that tears are bad. That you shouldn't be crying. You shouldn't cry. That you should hold it all in. Why? Are the female counterparts taught that in the household? Or are they taught to just take it and deal with it? But deal with it how? Do you even know how? Because I do. And it felt good talking about him while crying, while not breaking down, while not having a panic attack and anxiety attack, while being able to control myself. And I was still able to continue because I have immense self-control, because I taught myself that. I taught myself. Coach yourself through, talk yourself through it. In my head, I'm doing that while I'm talking about him. While I'm talking about a sensitive topic, I'm not under any influence. Fuck you if you think this is any part of influence. I've grown a tolerance to that shit. Yeah, my father asked for a couple hits of my pen a couple times. I'll tell you, that was the happiest I've ever seen him. Stress-free, I guess. Right? Got the no cheese, made himself some nachos, watching some shit on the couch. I asked him, so how you feeling? He basically gave me the middle finger. I'm like, alright, cool, I'm gonna let you enjoy that. He probably thinks that that is how I am all the time. No, just like alcohol, you can grow a tolerance to it. Excuse me. Mucus. So breathing exercises also is able to relieve or loosen up a lot of mucus. Going for a run also releases a lot of mucus. Physical movement other than the one that you are accustomed to in your routine is good because it's a form of exercise. I'm still thinking about that is why, but it feels good to talk about him. I don't talk about him often. The last time I talked about him, I was on my bed and I was accepting. I was accepting the fact that back then, when he was hurting, when I saw him in pain, when I felt he was in pain, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to help him. Pacing. Pacing is good. It's fine. Pacing is good. I remember my mom would tell me when I was on the phone, stop walking around. What, am I stressing you out? Fuck you. Um, Still thinking about him. It's good to talk about him. Last time I talked about him out loud by myself, I was I was getting myself to accept the fact that it's okay. That you didn't know. You didn't know how to help. And I know now, right? Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know how to help her. I felt his pain. I felt how he felt. I was fucking 17. That's like 8 years now, by the way. That's 8 years. You think a person can change in 8 years? Because I think a person can change by the day. I was 17. I felt his pain. I, I felt that he was in pain and I didn't know how to help him. Lo and behold, it was lack of physical activity. Maybe walking, going outside, getting some sun. The sun heals. Sun gets you vitamin D. Vitamin D fights off so many different things. I spend a lot of time outside just singing and dancing because that's my form of physical exercise that I enjoy. Keeps you active, keeps you fun, keeps you whatever. Uh, I felt, I felt his pain. I didn't know how to help him. I know now. I know now how to properly help anybody. Why? Because stress kills, tension kills, stress causes a lot of issues, and stress keeps you from being able to properly feel cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. Too much cortisol. Ew. Too much cortisol blocks your senses. If you don't know how to regulate that cortisol, if you don't know how to regulate your stress, manage your stress, you would never be able to handle stress. On the contrary, you will let it overcome you. You will let your trauma control you, take you over. Nope. You are not your mind. You are smarter than that. Sprinklers are turning on. I might have to go soon. From my bike on your way. Yeah, I'm gonna ride my bike in the nighttime. I've done it before, and I love it. Like I said, I don't talk about my grandfather often. That is a very sensitive and traumatic experience. But it's healthy to talk about them, whether you are sober or drunk. You're able to. But you shouldn't talk about them when you're drunk because you're most likely not going to remember talking about them the next day. Which is why you need to allow yourself to feel properly when you are sober. This actually heightens your senses. It doesn't suppress them. If you are curious, it heightens your senses. I've just built a tolerance too. Uh, I can say with confidence that with the space that I gave myself, I feel great. I feel so much better. I feel amazing, reconnected, rejuvenated, able to do what I've always liked to do. Not just play video games, sing, dance, be creative, be myself. Because I don't give a fuck about how others perceive me. At the end of the day, I'm doing what you can't. And that's the bottom line. Those who are happy about it, those who are proud of me for it, thank you, and I love you. And those that envy me for it, that's a wrap, ladies and gents. Time to go home. I'll tell you more about my grandfather later.